a couple of days ago, a couple of your so-called gospel artists in the black community called Charlie Kirk a racist. And why are black people mourning his death? He deserves to go where he's going. He deserves to get what he's got. I don't subscribe to that. That's not God. It's not Christianity. And it ought not be out of the mouths of African American black leaders, especially in the black community. You know, they say that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. I want you to take a good look at this picture that's been circling online. It is a picture split between Charlie Kirk and the late Dr. Martin Luther King. And I know it arouses a lot of feelings, a lot of emotions, of course, a lot of opinions. But that's just it. I want to get to the heart of what America is saying and why we are so divided, even in the church. So what is your first thoughts that come to mind when you see this picture? Are you angry? Are you upset? Are you overjoyed? Does it make sense? Personally, I am not yet quite ready to put the late Charlie Kirk on the same platform or in the same conversation with the late Dr. Martin Luther King. Yes, one is more historical, but what they do have in common is both of them were assassinated. They were not presidents, but they were highly influential for their strong political beliefs and causes. So here's the problem. Seems to be a tremendous avalanche and onboarding of hate. And unfortunately, again, hate has reared its ugly head in the black community and in the black Christian, let's just call it church community. Why are so many African Americans upset and calling Charlie Kirk a racist? Are we as African Americans, particularly Christians, once again, quickly to label someone a racist, particularly even at the insensitivity of their demise? Let's remember, he's still a lost, let's remember, he's still a human being. He still has a soul. He has a wife, children, but yet you were so quick to go online and just create this narrative that he's a racist. So, I looked at some of these videos. I saw the fact that, yes, he's against DEI. Well, there's a whole lot of black people against DEI, including me. Yes, he was against Black Lives Matter. A whole lot of black folk against Black Lives Matter, including me. So what's the rift? What's the complaint? What's the criticism? Is it again that someone who was not African American was willing to call out some of our social stigmas in our community and we broad paintbrush them with a racist tag? The reality is this: Black Lives Matter didn't affect anyone but the founders of Black Lives Matter. DEI was not originally created against black people. It was created to protect the LGBT plus Q community. But again, we get sucked into that narrative, sucked into that conversation, and we don't do our homework. We don't do our intel. We don't confirm. We just go with what's popular online and what makes seemingly sense, especially in the racial conversations of our community. Now, all these things being said, it pains my heart to see the backlash, to see the racist comments of a man who, by the way, before the age of 31, had amassed a phenomenal international following. Highly conservative, yes. Controversial, could be. I didn't follow Charlie Kirk that close. I don't know all of the nuances and in and outs of his political beliefs. A few things we do have in common is, number one, he loved this country, and I love the country that I live in. Number two, he was a staunch supporter of Israel. I am a supporter of Israel, even when it's not popular, even when it's not a very famous thing to do. I believe in the biblical, theological, and moral reasons why Christians, particularly African Americans, should stand, support, and pray for the Jewish state. Now, all these things being said, why is it that it seems as if the liberal left takes this opportunity to incentivize and enhance or attract or incite the black community to jump on its side as it relates to conservative people with conservative values? Once again, you've struck out. You've missed it, period. And yet you want black people to empathize and sympathize and create this campaign against another conservative leader, black or white. So these things being said, the question was asked recently: is America on the verge of civil war? Is America on the verge of a racial war? Well, combined with all of the backlash, all of the comments, all of the over criticisms of Charlie Kirk, all of the racial narratives and tensions across the country, you combine that with what's happening in Chicago, what's happening in Washington, D.C., you combine that with so much ignorance that just seemingly is unfortunate in our community. Yeah, I do think that there's some type of civil racial war that is mounting up. And this is why my call to action to you is simply this. Number one, be knowledgeable, be prepared, be thorough in your investigation. Quit taking the Kool-Aid off the online platforms, drinking it because it is laced and layered in color narrative. But we're better than that as Black people. We're better than that as Christians. We're better than that as Christian African Americans. Quit just seeing everything in black and white and what Reverend so-and-so said or what this political influencer said. No, 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 no. You are better than that. You do your own independent, isolated, analytical, logical platform of investigation. Get the facts, know the facts, and then draw a line of your opinions. After you've done that, go back to social media, get back on all of these different platforms, draw a line in the sand, state your convictions, state your beliefs. Now realize it won't be popular, but you'll be right. And last I checked, I'd rather be right in the eyes of God. I'd rather be right siding on the sides of facts than to be part of someone's popular opinion that's going nowhere. A couple of days ago, a couple of your so-called gospel artists in the Black community called Charlie Kirk a racist. And why are Black people mourning his death? He deserves to go where he's going. He deserves to get what he's got. I don't subscribe to that. That's not God. It's not Christianity. And it ought not be out of the mouths of African American Black leaders, especially in the Black community. So to all of the Ernest Pughs, all of the Darwin Hobbs who thought it would be smart to get online and basically show your behind. And as nasty and as sissy-ish and as horrible as it is, you're wrong. You know what your problem with Charlie Kirk was? Had nothing to do with race, had nothing to do with racism. It had all to do with that he stood adamantly against the homosexual, queer, and ungodly lifestyle that's in America, Black or white. Let that settle in. I'd love to get your comments on that. And by the way, speaking of comments, I encourage everyone, send me the reel, send me the clip, and let's sit down and dialogue. Let's sit down and create a strong, independent critique of what was racism versus what is authentic, factual critique, no matter whose community it is. Again, we don't like it because somebody white was calling out issues in our community, and we want to quickly silence them or cancel them and call it racism. Now that I think about it, and of course this is really unscripted and raw, the thing I do really appreciate about Charlie Kirk was no matter the popularity, no matter the backlash, he was going to stand on his conviction. We need more men and women like Charlie Kirk, Black and white. We need more men and women who will take their godly biblical convictions and anchor it in the ground. Because understand this, the late Howard Irving said this, true ministry is afflicting those that are comfortable and comforting those that are afflicted. We have a tendency in the church to be really quiet when it comes to creating conflict or affliction to those who've grown comfortable. And the minute one or two or three does, we call them a heretic. We call them a racist. We say that they're, let's flip the script here. Oh, he's siding with the white people or with the Jewish people. He's an Uncle Tom. He is step and fetch. That's the best we can do. You've already lost the conversation. You've lost our respect. The reality is this. I love being African American. I love unashamedly, unapologetically being me. But it doesn't give me a pass on dealing with some of the issues of our community, of our church, and our culture. Let's rise up and speak the truth with love. Problem with the church oftentimes is we speak the truth, but we ain't showing no love. Then you get the flip side of the people showing a whole bunch of love, but they're not willing to tell the truth. We need a delicate balance of both. And my brothers and sisters from the state of Alaska, here at Denali Park, I am here to tell every one of you all, we got to do better. Charlie Kirk had the ability to create platforms on these college campuses and in these forum settings where you could bring those opinions. You could bring your anti whatever he stood for remarks, but it was a civil conversation. That's what we lost in America. Let's go back to the question of civil war. Well, if you don't have civil conversation and civil dialogues, my friends, what's left will be eventually and ultimately a civil war. If you can't sit down and reason together and disagree agreeably or agreeably disagree, now we're asking for bullets. Now we're asking for bloodshed. Now we laugh or are insensitive to the fact of lost lives. We got problems. As much as I diametrically disagree with the squad, you know who I'm talking about, the squad, as much as I can't stand the foolish rhetoric out of the mouths of a Jasmine Crockett or Candace Owens, I don't wish for their demise. I don't wish for them to die. Because out there somewhere, there's still wives. There's still somebody's mama. There's still somebody's husband or father. And maybe there's room for them to repent, to return, to re-understand what life is really about. But if you wish someone's death, we are people of light. Christians are people of life and life abundantly. We are people of life and the light. We're not like Hamas. We're not jihadists. We don't advocate death for our enemies or those who don't understand our platform. Leave that for those idiots. But for us, man, let's try to find a way to live together in America and across the world. I think America lost a great advocate and influencer, especially for the conservative cause and value. My time is up. I ask that you share, click, like, and better yet, leave your comments. Let's have a discussion. I promise you, I will try to get to all of them, even the ones that hate on me. But if there's anything I can do to continue on the spirit of Charlie Kirk, it was to create online and in-person platforms where we can discuss and dialogue. Thank you so very much.